Hi. Today we will discuss one fundamental aspect which is important to have a clarity on if you need to understand the concepts of Vedanta clearly. The reference what we will take up today is one of the most famous verses from Shankaracharya which says Brahma Sathyam Jagat Mithhya. Often it is loosely translated by most of the commentators as only Brahman is the ultimate truth, the world we live in or the universe we interact with are an illusion. While at a broad level that makes sense, that translation makes sense, that word illusion there can often create a lot of misunderstanding, and that causes a misunderstanding of the Vedanta concepts, and or either people have a misguidance on the concepts of Vedanta, or some people basically resist the concepts of Vedanta because of this interpretation. So, to understand this concepts of Vedanta and especially the concept of this verse clearly, we need to understand these two words clearly. What do you mean by Satyam? What do you mean by Mithya? Okay. So, Satyam is the fundamental, eternal reality, the unchanging reality. So, the Vedanta is saying the Brahman, the pure consciousness, is the ultimate, unchanging reality. So that's the word Satyam indicating to. So Satyam is the fundamental unchanging reality. Now is Mithya the extreme opposite of Satyam? No, it is not. So if you look at the word Satyam, or in Sanskrit they also use the word often as Sat. If you take the word Satyam or Sat, the opposite of that, the untruth, is indicated by a word called Asat. So Asat is indicating those which are asat, untruth, or which is non-existent, which is not existing at all. Mithya is not indicating something which is not existing or which is just an illusion. Mithya is indicating a gradational or a intermediate reality which is not the ultimate permanent reality. It's not the truth, eternal truth, right? So Mithya is indicating those realities which are transient in nature, which are temporary in nature, and which is ever changing. Those truths which are identified as or guided as the manifestation of the ultimate reality, which is Brahman, those realities together is what Vedanta calls as Mithya. So the word Mithya is not indicating untruth. It is not indicating something which is non-existent. It is indicating something which is transient in nature, which is subjective reality, which is temporary in nature. Okay. Now, the concept of Mithya is explained in Vedanta as in two broad categories. That means under Mithya, there are two types of subjective realities. The first type is known as Vyavaharika Satyam, or loosely translated in English as empirical reality. Now, one thing to be noted here is that the type of Mithya they are explaining and they are naming it as Vyavaharika Satyam. So it is not Asatyam. It is not something which is non-existent. These are the names and forms which constitute most of this universe, all living being, non-living being, all matter, or all energy, everything together constitute this type of the category under Mithya. What does it indicate? It's a temporary, transient manifestation of the ultimate reality, which appears as names and forms and which has a utility, which can be used for certain purposes, which can be experienced, which can be interacted with. Those temporary realities are the first category, which is known as the Vyavaharika Satyam. Now the second category under Mithya is the Pradibhasika Satyam, or sometimes it is also known as the subjective reality. Why it is called subjective reality? Because there is no clear formation of something. It's more of an appearance. We'll take some examples to understand that. Why it is called a subjective reality is that because it is not a reality which is experienced by everybody in the same manner. It is subjective to the experiencer. So to take a couple of examples which we are all familiar with, we look at the sky and say beautiful blue sky. Is that sky really blue? No, it's not really blue. It is appearing as blue to our eyes and mind because of certain play of the light and the way which light rays comes into our eyes, etc. So it's just a temporary appearance what we see in the sky as blue. Now nothing is getting appearing or converting or forming as blue there. There is no blueness also. It's just an appearance. Another example is that when you travel in desert, you see mirage, which looks like water from at a distance, and we keep going there, and there is no water there. So this is also an appearance which is it is not there, but it's a reality of appearance to us. It appears really for us. It's not somebody is telling you a false thing. When I say I saw water there, I'm not telling you an untruth, but it is an appearance which I took it as a water. Now, these two categories of temporary, transient, subjective realities together is what Vedanta calls as Mithya. So, if you look at that way, the entire universe, what we are perceiving, what we are interacting with, what we are experiencing, can be broadly classified into these two. Some of them are temporary forms and names which we can interact with or experience. The other one is appearances which appears so to us. These two together constitute the universe. So these two together is what constitutes the Mithya. So from that perspective, Brahma Sathyam, the pure consciousness, is the ultimate reality. Mithya, which constitutes both the Vyavaharika Satyam and the Pradipasika Satyam, together constitutes other visible universe. That's the meaning of the word Brahma Satyam and Jagat Mithya. So if you understand these words Satyam and Mithya clearly like that, we will understand what is the meaning of this verse and how Vedanta puts forward the permanent reality behind the universe as well as the transient reality which appears as names, forms and other appearances to us which we experience in. So that's the meaning of the word Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya.